Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Lowrider Podcast. Tonight we got a little something different, man. We got a special guest on here, Roland Harris. We're going to discuss some things that went on with him. Roland, you wanna let them know where you're from and your car club and shit like that, man?
I'm originally from Long Beach, California. I'm out here in Phoenix now. I'm the vice president of Steady Dipping Car Club.
Nice.
We've been around for about 15 years. We originated on the south side.
South Phoenix?
Yeah.
Is that where you guys started from? Okay, what, initially coming from California down here?
No, we originated from here.
You started from here and then shot a chapter out there? How do you got? This is just one main mother chapter here in Arizona. Nice. Sweet. So we got you on tonight, and we're gonna talk about something that happened. I believe this happened in 2019.
January 11th.
January 11th, 2019. So your son had an incident where he was involved in where it led to his death by the Phoenix Police Department. Where you guys went through a whole court battle and stuff like that with him. So, and we brought you on here to talk about the other things. There was initially three other people with him.
3 other children.
3 other minors.
Yeah, one was 20, 19, and 14.
20, 19, and 14.
Yes.
And as a result of your son getting shot, the crime they got charged with, they also got charged with your son's death. I'm told now.
Felony murder.
Felony murder.
Yes.
Wow. How would again? I know Arizona has some crazy ass laws where you're guilty by association for just being with that people in the car or whatnot. But I mean, I posted a video on my Facebook. I know a bunch of people were watching that, and I don't know if we were going to post it on here. I don't know if we wanted to do that on here, but in the video it shows them getting pulled over. Your son exiting. They threw a flashbang, and then your son exited the vehicle and he took off running, and then he drops, and that's where there's no sound, but we can just assume that he was either tased or shot. At that distance, taser is not going to affect nobody. It had to be shot. And so, when you look into the reportings on there, it was an AR-15. So definitely, they hit what they were aiming at.
Well, not everything they were aiming at. They shot at him 11 times and hit
him
twice.
Oh shit! They shot more. They didn't shoot just twice.
They shot at him 11 times and hit him twice.
Holy shit!
So 9 bullets hit the ground in the Circle K that was behind him. So there are people standing around outside.
They probably would have got hit
with straight bullets from the police.
And again, that they had, this was helicopter footage that you're seeing in the video. So, and obviously you would think that they had enough time to initially stop them, or they went to a Circle K, or they did something previous before getting back on the road, right? I mean, so
what it was is the Phoenix Police Department's Violent Crimes Unit and the Special Assignments Unit had the 20-year-old Jeremiah under surveillance for suspicion of committing some robberies prior. Then earlier that day, they had pictures and video of Jeremiah playing and the 14-year-old Johnny Triplett playing with the BB gun that they thought was a gun at the time.
Well, they probably could have did something at that time.
Absolutely.
Right? This is way earlier to what transpired later on in the evening, right?
Yeah, because Arizona has a felony misconduct law where it says if a felon's in possession of a firearm, you can go to jail. So they had probable cause to step in at that time, but they didn't. They continued to follow Jeremiah, Johnny, and Soraya around for, I want to say, about 8.5 hours. And then they picked after what had happened, what they got accused of doing, right? Prior to.
Oh, this is before them going to do this.
This is January the 10th. So they picked up Jacob around about 10:30 that evening, and they went out to Avondale and committed an armed robbery on a Whataburger.
And then your son didn't commit it. He was just a lookout. Something, right?
Yeah,
he was a part of the crime. We're not saying he wasn't. He was, yes, he was doing something for the police to obviously look for the kids. He wasn't. The other ones were being surveyed by the police.
Yes.
Which could have stopped it. It's like if it's like if you feel like they intentionally waited for them to do something to get them, when if they're kids and they're all underage and you see a weapon, you're not 21. I mean, I assume they should have pulled them over. They should have stopped them.
Right.
A lot of different things could have happened. Would have played out. You know what I'm saying? Your son would have, yes, your son would have went to jail or prison. Probably would have got 3 to 4 years. Probably would be out home right now with you. You know what I mean? It would have been a whole life lesson, but it didn't go that way. Unfortunately, for your son, and for the other three, they're still incarcerated as we speak right now.
Yes, we're actively. We have a movement right now called Phoenix Free the Phoenix 3, just for Jacob. Free the Phoenix 3. What we're doing right now is we have a state senator, Ana Hernandez, who's part of our coalition and working with us as well.
And she's District 9.
No, she's a
Seven?
state senator. She's a state senator right now.
Okay.
She's going to be running for city council for District 7.
District 7.
Which
Okay.
is South Side.
Okay.
Cesar Chavez in that area. But what we're trying to do right now is get these kids home. We have they just filed paperwork for a post-conviction relief. Reason being is that if people have been watching the news, there was a homicide detective by the name of Jennifer DePonzio. She
had a bunch of
bullshit.
She accused, falsely accused. She lied.
Yes.
They specifically say she lied and she falsely accused. Which, man, they really don't get no repercussions. They really don't get no. Maybe a slap on the wrist. Hey, don't do that again. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
So until this happened recently, she was actually the head homicide detective for Jacob's shooting.
Oh wow.
So until we started putting a lot of pressure on the police, a lot of shit would have never came out. But when it came out, her paperwork, the Phoenix PD lied on her paperwork for her to the state. They said she'd never been in trouble before, and she was. And so a lot of people didn't understand until that came out. She was still licensed to be a police officer in the state of Arizona. So she could have went and applied after everything died down and went and applied somewhere else. But because of the pressure we put on the Phoenix PD, Post, which is the ones who license police officers, they stripped her license.
Oh wow! So she's no longer able to act. Oh wow! That's so. Obviously, she did something for that to happen.
Yeah.
And that 2019, and I know that Phoenix Police Department has been under a lot of scrutiny. They've been under investigation themselves prior to this shooting for harassment, for racial profiling. There's a lot that, the way that they were too rough. They were too, they were obviously their weapon. Instead of pulling a taser, that was the first thing they would pull is their weapon. And it seems like, some of them did get in trouble. Some of them had a good time. The shitty thing is, oh yeah, this guy's in trouble, but he's got paid leave. That's the fucked up thing. You got paid leave, and probably with the same thing happened with your son's people during the whole investigation. Yes, you're in trouble, but go ahead and sit on the couch. We're fucking paying. The taxpayers are paying you for something that we're trying to figure out.
People don't understand is like one officer that shot at Jacob killed 3 people before Jacob.
Prior to Jacob's shooting, he has previous shootings in his record,
and that was David Norman. And the one who shot Jacob and killed Jacob, named is Christopher Burtz. He shot and killed somebody unarmed before Jacob, and since Jacob, he shot 2 people.
Wow! And these 2 officers are still active officers in the police department as we speak, right? They're still in line.
Christopher Burtz is still out there, still patrolling, still special assignment shooting.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
There's some fucked up stats for people. Like since we've been out here and doing all this work, like for instance, like the black population makes up 6.5% of the population of the city of Phoenix, but the black population is 3 times more likely to be killed by Phoenix PD than
any other race.
Than the remaining population.
Yeah, I witnessed some shit.
And then Hispanics behind that, and they're, I want to say 1.5 or 2 times more likely to be killed than the Caucasians in the city of Phoenix, which is a problem.
Yeah, and I've seen that, man. I seen where it was a white dude. He had a knife. He was going crazy. They pepper sprayed him. They maced him. They did all kind of shit. They beanbagged him. They did every except for they did not shoot. They still did not shoot him, and they still ended up subduing him and getting that. And I've also seen and witnessed, and I have it recorded on my phone on the Facebook, where an unarmed person, yes, he did something, down the road. He stabbed somebody. He ended up losing his knife. He had his hands in the air, and I believe with my wife when we were recording that day, you hear the gunshots, boom, boom, same thing, an AR-15, and again, an AR-15. You're shooting a fucking AR-15. That bullet is not going to stop when it hits you. It's going to go right through you, and probably somebody or some. It's going to hit something else. That's why again, everybody is always concerned about assault rifles and what other people do with them in mass shootings, but yet you allow an officer to shoot with an AR-15, no matter how trained you are in precision, precise. That bullet does not stop. That bullet is meant to travel, and like you said, there was people at the Circle K that could have been shot after they shot at him 11 times. So it's like it's just a lot of shit out there that needs to change, and you guys are working on change.
A lot of bullshit. So right now, when I first started like fighting for my son, it was just me. Like we didn't have anybody. Now we have a coalition. Now it's made up of the Nation of Islam, LOC, Anti-Police Terror Project out of Oakland, California, Black Lives Matters out of LA, Black Lives Matters here, and the Family Justice Collective, as well as Poder in Action.
Nice.
So now we have a lot. And then,
and also the senator that's jumping in and trying to get on. She's trying to get on that.
And I also have meetings with the assistant city manager, Lori Bays.
Nice.
Like what I got done doing recently was I filed a citizens petition at the city with the city council, demanding that they ask for the Department of Justice full and complete report, and not to hide it from the public. And that's actually went through as well.
And they have that paperwork out now. People, is it available to the public?
It's
people
not
need to see, or
it's not available
it's
yet
coming
because
out?
the Department of Justice is now looking into it, because shortly after that, Phoenix PD tried to come to my house and serve a warrant and do an intimidation on us or on me. After that, it didn't work.
Wow. They came to your residence.
To my house.
What, to try to tell you what the hell you doing?
Just
to try to just to no phone call from anybody. They just pulled up at your house. Hey, Mr. Harris, the fuck you doing?
We want to talk to you.
They said you had a warrant for your arrest? Oh wow. Did they
nothing.
Didn't serve you, didn't take you to jail, they just
nothing.
Wow.
So we went down to the and I want people to understand, like, they got a thing out there that's called the Police Standards Bureau.
Yeah, I've been through some shit with some cops, man. So they got a lot of fucking pull.
Yeah, so these motherfuckers these are the cops that are supposed to investigate when cops do bad shit.
Yeah, like IA, internal investigations. Yeah.
Well, when they did an interview with me, they make it sound like they're more. They'll try to make you seem like you the criminal for filing a complaint on the police. So they don't
like if they're not doing their job,
right? And then when people don't understand, and what we need people to start doing too, is they need to start going down to city council meetings.
Speaking up,
because we Poder in Action and some of the community, we put together a thing called OAT, which is Office of Accountability and Transparency. That was supposed to be controlled by the citizens, not by the city. So it's supposed to be a thing that was 9 members of citizens of the community, that whenever there was an incident with police, they were the ones that were supposed to be responsible.
Instead of the police.
But what happened was, after that was approved by the city council reached out to the state senators that they have in their back pocket, and they said, no, that's too much control. We need to have control. So now, a couple weeks ago, the mayor Gallego, she tried to put together, she's got a motion out there right now that people need to go down and speak out against, to where she's going to pick the 9 people that are going to sit on.
They're going to overlook at.
They're going to be over.
So regardless, it's their fucking say what they want.
But we as a community got to speak up and say we're not going to accept that, because what people don't understand is those 9 people could be former police officers, family members of the police officers, members of the police union. They just can't be active police officers.
Yeah. Wow.
So those are the people that are supposed to make sure that.
That's like getting a jury of your peers that ain't your peers,
Exactly.
and that are going to say, "Hey, we're doing this," and
exactly.
It's like if it's all pre-played, you know what I'm saying, and it's ready to roll.
And then like I was
That's some
telling
shit,
you,
man.
yeah, like I was telling you earlier, the way that these laws are set up is because the felony murder law works just like this. You got 4 kids, never been in trouble. They go to a house party. They say, "Hey, let's go get some beer." And I know that everybody probably watching this.
Yeah,
Know somebody done a beer run. Done a
trying to
beer
show
run at
out and try
Circle
to be
K.
hard.
So these
you
4
know,
kids go to the store. They do a beer run at Circle K. They run out. Clerk says stop. They keep going. That elevated to strong arm robbery, which a lot of people don't know, and that's a felony. So if they get that license plate number of that car,
the person driving it and everybody in the vehicle is getting charged with that same crime.
But say the police officer stopped them and the kid gets out that car and runs. They shoot that kid in the back. He has a cell phone in his hand, but they say, oh, he had a gun. They shoot and kill him. You got a car full of honor roll students that never been in trouble before in their life. Those 3 kids are getting charged with felony murder.
Wow.
And when people don't understand, felony murder carries the death penalty.
It's a death penalty in Arizona.
Carries a death penalty in the state of Arizona. When they charged my son's friends, I got a call from the county attorney's office telling me that they were going to seek the death penalty for my son's friends.
And 14,
14,
19, and 20,
19 and 20 year
still
old,
all under the age of 21.
yes, wanted to seek the death penalty for them. And
Wow.
I told them no.
They were asking you to testify against your child, your son's death.
Yes.
Holy shit! How the fuck can they do that, man?
I went down to the court every time and spoke out for those kids.
For the kids.
For the kids every time.
Wow.
So
and as a parent of the victim, because at this point in time, your son is they're making your son the victim when they're the ones that did the fucking killing. They're the ones that did the shooting, pulled the trigger, and did all that. But they're wiping they're wiping their ass with the kids. And it's shitty to put it that way, but that's fucked up, man.
It's just that easy though.
In the law, in the law, in the eyes of the law, you're saying.
So that's why we had the event that we had on April 7th was for the free basketball tournament, and the car show was they have the community come out because we had lawyers from the ACLU there. We had other members of the coalition there and of these organizations there to try to educate the families, educate parents on these laws, because you can't protect your child if you don't know
what's going on.
You don't know laws. You don't know what these.
And you can't speak up. Again, you can't speak up if you have nothing to speak up about. If you're clueless, you know what I mean. And it's not that nobody's dumb or we're not, but it's just, again, these laws change all the time, and not that we know, but they change fucking, And I know this actual law has been in play for a fucking minute, and it hasn't changed yet, or it hasn't had nothing done to it, and it doesn't benefit no one else. I mean, that's kind of. I would fight to the ends of the earth for my kid if she was in the car, and yes, again, some kids nowadays with this generation of kids, they're just trying to prove something. They're trying to, oh well, we're gonna go get some beer. Well, hey, I want to go. And then by being in the car, well, hell, we're gonna go do a beer run. Oh fuck, you didn't know, and then, bam, something happens, or they get the whole. There goes their life gone. Again, at 14 years old. I wouldn't know what to do.
For your child to think like, because they think like they have the mentality of a child. So your child is going to go do life in prison for the actions of an adult.
Right.
An adult who took the oath to protect those children. Like they took an oath to protect your children, but they're the ones that are murdering your children.
Right. And then now the other innocent children are getting put for what they did, and wow, that's just, again, that's.
Crazy.
It's crazy how the law works, and how it's good for some people and bad for other people, or benefits. It's not just saying good or bad, but it benefits different ways. Again, these guys were off with paid fucking leave, so they sat at home and got paid and didn't have to worry about nothing. And yet you guys are fighting, and you guys are going through all your, grieving and all the stuff that you have for your kids, and also the parents of the other kids. Or again, these whole families are ruined. And it's actions by the police. Again, if you guys watch the video, you see the whole video, man, of him getting out of the vehicle and running, and then he drops. And obviously it's not. He just dropped and laid down. And kids are scared. They're kids. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They're not. They're not thugs. They're not. Again, this generation of kids is a total generation that it's something else.
What people don't understand about my son is that Jacob was 16 when he had his first son and his daughter. His girlfriend was 21.
Oh shit!
Jacob was working a full-time job, bro, and
At the age of 60, growing up.
and went back to school and graduated on cross stage while taking care of both of his kids. So when he was killed, he left behind 2 kids.
Wow.
So it wasn't
man,
like
2
my
young
son.
ones too.
It
Yeah.
wasn't like my son was out there gang banging and all that stuff. He made a dumbass decision one night, hung out with the kids, and they all made dumb decisions.
Right. Trying to
But
show out and show
for the
off.
police to sit there and watch and videotape.
And there's pictures, right? We do have pictures and all that stuff,
Yeah, I got
man.
the
We can
video.
show it all.
And
We got
then
the video.
I got a deposition video where we asked the Christopher Burt straight the hell up, like, why didn't you guys intervene in the robbery? We didn't have probable cause.
How the hell you got probable cause? If you're following them, so what the fuck were they following them
That's
for?
what we trying to.
You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have no probable cause, why were you even on their radar? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. And so what it was is they never made Jennifer DePonzio available for us for our deposition.
So she never spoke with you guys at all?
No,
she never had
kept saying she had a medical condition.
Oh,
so
wow. And this is the lady that stripped her from all her
Yeah.
shit as far as law enforcement or anything like that.
And then the other guy, Christopher, then one of the other homicide detectives, Detective Winters, we asked him, how did the gun, because the gun that they alleged that was Jacob's gun was wet. Didn't rain that night.
You said that was the only thing wet in a dry ass spot that had in the
So-
videos, in the pictures you could see it was the only thing that was wet.
And the only thing they found on the gun was Jacob's DNA. They didn't find any of his fingerprints on that gun that was there. Only his DNA.
They just had DNA.
Yeah, and his
Yeah, it's
DNA is
kinda-
all
it's
over
kinda-
there. He got shot. I mean, those bullets went through his heart, his lung, and his liver.
Oh wow! So he was still breathing, and I'm pretty sure
Well,
they just penetrated straight through, and he didn't instantly just stop breathing. He probably bled. You could see him moving. You could see him moving because on that file it says he was shot again with beanbags.
Yeah, they shot him.
Why the fuck didn't they shoot him running away with the beanbags? He would have probably dropped. And they had a dog because the dog also grabbed him, drug him all the way to them. And then, they proceed to cuff him or do whatnot or whatever. It's all on video.
And then about 10 minutes after that video is when they actually got the ambulance to him to do first aid on him.
Wow.
And then they took him they didn't take him to the closest hospital. They took him to the hospital in Goodyear.
Oh, wow. Because that's Avondale.
Yeah,
and you said it initially happened around Dysart and Van Buren.
91st Avenue and Camelback were shot at. Closest hospitals, 99th Avenue and Thomas.
Yeah.
But they took him to Goodyear.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah.
That's back that way.
Yeah.
Man, there's still closer hospitals than that just across the freeway right there.
There's
99th and Thomas. McDowell, there's a medical big treatment right there, trauma treatment. Like, it's crazy, man, how that all initially happened. So you guys are fighting for justice now. I mean, obviously, you proceeded to do an appeal for your son, right? And you guys have unfortunately lost the appeal for that because of the laws, right?
Because of the law, because of the free felon law in the state of Arizona. There's a law in the books that's written into the officer's right to use deadly force, which is
regardless of what they think they can shoot.
So what we're trying to do right now, Senator Hernandez is working on putting a law together right now to put an amendment into that law, because the police are slick and the state is slick on what they do. So if we abolish that law, that would mean that the Phoenix PD or no police officer in the state of Arizona can use deadly force.
Has the right to use deadly force.
So they're never going to do that. So they knew that. So that's why they wrote this fleeing felony law in there, which gives them the right to shoot a fleeing felon suspect, rather armed or unarmed, in the face or in the back.
Wow.
So we're trying to get.
You would think that shooting somebody in the fucking back unarmed would be.
You'd go to prison for the rest of your life if you did it.
Right. And what gives them the right? The badge? I mean, again, that's not something that's what they're hiding behind. At the end of the day, they're hiding behind the badge, and that the law that gives you the right, the right to do what they can do. Nobody else but them. Yeah. So man, fleeing felon
law. And so what we're doing is we're trying to make an amendment to that, to where if they shoot someone in the back, they can no longer be police officers.
Strip them of something.
Because they're no longer a threat.
You're not,
You're not a threat to the police. And they lied the whole time. They always try to say Jacob pointed a gun at them. And then we ended up getting a copy of the PSB statement from the officer who shot Jacob that said Jacob never pointed a weapon at him. Wow. But they still charged Jacob, and Jacob still, to this day, still has that charge on his name for assault on a police officer.
And okay, so we're gonna jump back to where the shit initially started.
Right.
You know, that the night of the crime, was he fit? He was a lookout, right? He wasn't the one holding no gun. He wasn't the one in there
On video.
threatening, saying or whatever,
So-
give me whatever.
So what
He was
happened
just because obviously they got good video around that whole
Yeah, they got video.
facility.
They
You know,
got
we
video.
won't put names, but
police
around
got-
the facility, you know.
The police got the video.
Oh, they have video
Police
also.
videotaped it. And
Holy
they said,
shit!
and they showed the
It all
first
could
year-
have been prevented. Again, it all
Yes.
could have been prevented
The
as far as
police
the
officer
burglary.
even says that they, while they were waiting for the Circle K, while they're waiting for the Whataburger to close, they actually, Jacob and his friends actually parked right beside
The police
the
officer.
police officers.
Are you
undercover
fucking
police officers.
serious?
So if you wanted to stop it, you could have stopped right there. They didn't know you was right beside them. You could have got out the car and grabbed them right there if you wanted to.
Wow. What if it would have been worse? You know what I'm saying? Not that it happened, but what if it would have been worse to where they went in there, did something, and the cops are there aware of what is going on, and they're watching this shit happen, and they're just letting it happen.
Right.
That's like them not doing that. That's like them again. There should be something about that kind of shit. Like again, if you're a police officer and you're supposed to protect, serve, and do whatever, obviously you're at that point in time, your life is supposed to be before everybody else's. If you're, you know, that's why I got a lot of respect for firefighters and shit like that, because those guys put their fucking lives out there regardless. You know what I'm saying? Fire, whatever. Them guys are not creating a problem. In this case, these guys are like setting it up. These guys are like waiting for it to go on, and they're videotaping. Oh, this is gonna happen. Should we do something here? No, we're gonna wait. And it looks like in the video that they were wherever they were at, they were in a dark area away from obviously the public, but again, you know,
what we think and what we said is we think that they trailed them and they followed them for 10 miles.
Right, because again, that was a helicopter video.
And the police in the car were driving.
We're videoing
video. Had them under surveillance for 10 miles. They waited until they got to the dark, desolate area to make the stop because.
So it was there dash cam? Was there dash cam of the video of the car that stopped and actually where he got out and shot? No dash cam from him.
No, special assignments unit don't have to wear body cameras.
No fucking body cameras
still to this day don't have to wear body cams.
Are you serious? But yeah, that's just like, who's that, sissy? Sorry for your loss. Classic vibes. Hey guys, thank you, man. We appreciate you. But no camera from them at all. Regardless, I mean, you would think either some kind of sound, some kind of something that could. Okay, so again, what if it goes bad for them? How could they cover their ass by not having that for them? You would think that they would want that for them, but they can turn off and turn on. I've seen other cops turn on and turn off at their pleasing. You know, I've seen that happen multiple times.
I mean, here's the thing though. When the shit first happened, they told us they didn't have any video at all.
Oh wow!
And so people don't understand. It's a lot. That's a lot of shit that happened going after that. So initially they shoot Jacob. We asked for the police report. They don't give us a police report. We had to sue
to get a public statement from.
We had to sue the police to get a police report, and it took us 6 months to get the police report. Then when we got the police report, then they accidentally supposedly leaked the video of the shooting, so they let it be known on Phoenix PD. That's when we knew they had a video of the shooting.
Oh wow! So you wouldn't even have known.
So then I got the video. We got the video, and then they put an order of protection on against me and our family on that video, to where anybody ever spoke or discussed or
like a gag order or whatever, right?
They would be arrested. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So for
obviously they're trying to hide something, or they were trying to cover their own ass.
Yeah.
You know, of whatever. Again, wrongful doing, right and wrong is wrong. You know, whatever. But wow, they did a lot of hushing on this shit, man. You know, they didn't say a lot. They covered shit up like crazy.
I didn't even tell you the best part, or the most fucked up part of the cover up. They didn't communicate on the radios that night.
Fucking dirty, Jacob. You know it, man.
They didn't communicate on the radio that night. They communicate on WhatsApp communication.
Oh shit! And that can be
so on the WhatsApp. So on the WhatsApp, check this. I'm not done though. So they communicate on the WhatsApp, not on the radio. We got the radio transcript where they said, "Let's move to the WhatsApp." So then they went to the WhatsApp communication. Bro, they deleted the WhatsApp communicate. They deleted all those messages from that night.
Oh wow! So no conversation.
But when I sat across from the current chief of police and the other chiefs right now, we're asking them. Like right now, we're pushing right now to get criminal charges brought against every officer that was there that night on WhatsApp, because
Isn't that like hindering a prosecution or some shit?
If I have a
Again, I'm a
text
smart
message
little
for a
guy. I
crime,
know, you know.
so if you have a text message from me that I committed a crime
And I delete
and you
it.
delete that,
That's
you're
hindering
going
a
to jail.
prosecution. Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so why is it that the police
Can
can
do
do this
that, yeah.
and delete these messages in a homicide investigation? They know the laws. That's their job. They know the law. How can you enforce the law and not know the law? So you know that you can't delete those WhatsApp communications.
Wow.
So now we're pushing right now with the city, and we have another meeting coming up with the city manager right now, and she's pushing also. And that's what's crazy is she's pushing to open up this investigation to find out why those
They were able to delete.
Why did you destroy evidence?
Yeah, that's destroying evidence.
But that's why I say it was a cover up, and that's why I tell anybody, if you have any violent interactions with the police, your family members, don't be scared to speak up against them,
right?
Because I mean, they can't do shit to you.
No.
The way that they get away with what they do is because most of us
don't speak up.
Most minorities, we don't have life insurance policies. We don't have life insurance policies on our kids. So what happens is when we have a loved one killed, we have to go and do a car wash. So now you're stressing on focusing on burying your child that was just killed by the police, and instead of trying to get them justice.
Yeah, or grieve or getting justice.
So that's what they thought they were going to do. So what they did with us was, when they came to my place where I was living at the time, I was at work when they killed Jacob. Jacob passed away at 12:30 in the morning. At 6:30 in the morning, they got a search warrant to search the house. At 8 o'clock in the morning, they kicked in the door at the house and served a search warrant in the house.
Were you home at that time, or you were working?
I was at work. I wasn't notified of Jacob's death until 9:30 in the morning, when 10 police officers came to my job to notify me.
Holy shit.
And then they didn't notify Jacob's mom. I'm the one who had to call Jacob's mom and tell her that her son was gone. Her only son.
Wow.
That he was gone. And so,
were you guys able to see him or do anything like that, or did they keep him because they're saying it was an initial investigation, so they wouldn't let you guys see him, they wouldn't let you guys see the body?
Nothing.
Wow, man.
And then when I got Jacob, they had me do a secondary autopsy to verify that Jacob was shot in the back, because they tried to first say that Jacob stopped, turned around and pointed a gun and tried to make it sound like he was shot in the chest.
Oh, wow.
So I actually had to pay like almost $2,000 to get a secondary autopsy on Jacob.
Oh, wow.
And then we buried Jacob. But what people don't understand, the reason why I tell people to speak up is because the organizations that I'm dealing with now, they told me, like, if you wouldn't have spoke up, none of this shit would have
kept going on now. Like you say, messages. They're trying to say get those messages. Cassandra, they're going to get the message. Somehow, some way, shit can't be really deleted. I know it could be deleted, but I mean, man, there's some smart-ass computer text that can bring up shit like that, especially WhatsApp. Like, yeah. You could throw it to a trash, but I'm pretty sure that trash is not deleted from a trash.
And that's what we're trying to put the pressure on them right now. That's
like, again, not speaking up, like you're saying, is what keeps people from not doing shit,
which is why these police do what they do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, first thing people said to me is, when I went on the news, I went on the news the next day after they killed Jacob. People were like, "Oh, you're not worried, man? What they gonna do to you? What they gonna do?" Well, a background on me is, bro, what probably a lot of people don't know is my pops was a Black Panther, bro. Like, I've never been scared of the police.
Right.
I never respected them, never will respect them. No. Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of pussies that used to get beat up in high school.
Yeah, so now there's
people gotta understand is, if you weren't scared of these fools in high school, why are you scared of them now? You know what I'm saying? They can't do shit to you. If you're not out there breaking the law, they can't do shit to you. So if you're speaking out against them, they gotta have now, in order to come after you, they gotta have a legitimate reason to fuck with you, because if they don't, now it's police harassment. And the last thing the city wants is anybody saying for police harassment. I'll follow up on police harassment.
Yeah.
So you got to speak up.
It's some shit now, because I know. I mean, my buddy does tattooing, man. Again, we don't put names out there, but my buddy does tattooing, and he was tattooing. I thought dude was a regular guy, looked just like you and I. And I made a comment about his shoes. I said, man, you got to either be a cop or you got to be something. Well, yes, he was a cop, but he was internal affairs. So I started drilling him on shit. Oh, he said, you're a cop that goes after the bad cops. What about all this investigation going on right now? And I guess this dude is like shit second in charge in the state of Arizona as far as going over. And he was actually talking pretty bad about Phoenix police. Like he said, of all the departments, Phoenix is probably the most corrupt. You got to LA and you come from California. So you know how bad the LA cops were back in the day. I mean, you got other cops at Atlanta. You got other cops that have their own little fucking gang, to be honest, man. That's a gang. They think they're unstoppable. There's movies out there that portray these dudes as, yes, they're police officers, but yet they run it gang wise, and that shit's actual truth. You don't think that it's not. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? They're not covered. They're a fucking gang of people, and they'll cover for one another. Just like they're not gonna dime out. They're gonna try to ride until it happens, and then if they're fucked at the end, then they're gonna go ahead and fucking rat.
And that's what I say. Like when we spoke with his name is Detective Riddle. He works for the Internal Affairs. Me and him got into it. We got in a heated out. How do you get into a heated altercation with somebody who's giving you a statement on how police just harassed him? And he goes, well, we don't put up fake, we don't make fake charges. But you guys do. You guys are getting investigated by the Department of Justice for making up fake gang charges against people that were out there protesting against you guys for killing people. Right. What people don't understand is Phoenix PD is notoriously, for I want to say the last 10 to 15 years, have been the most deadliest police force in this country.
In the country.
But they are one of the smallest police forces in this country. Yeah. So that goes to tell you, it's crazy on what it is. So they only get away with shit because we allow it. And a lot of people don't know these things. And I didn't know these things. I didn't know these things until I got on this side of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm on this side of it, they don't fuck with me, bro. They're scared. When I come into those city council meetings, they know. Yeah. When I sat there and I looked across at that mayor and I tell this mayor, it's your fault that this shit happens. What people don't understand is that the mayor of Phoenix, she's sat on the city council. She's been there for 10 years. So she's been there all these 10 years that this police force has been the most deadliest police force in this country. She's been sitting on that city council in some part of their capacity. Yeah. She's had a dereliction of duty. Yeah, she's been aware of everything that's going on with the police, and she's part of the problem and why they're covering it up. So we gotta let people know. And what the saddest thing is when we went in there to file for that citizen petition, we didn't go. We wanted to file and get them to accept the responsibility. And there was a city councilwoman, Pastor, was there. And she said that in her time that she's been a city councilwoman, she's never seen them take a citizen petition and pick it apart until mine. Oh, wow. And only vote on a certain portion of it. And she told me that if they try to vote on the full citizen petition, she would not get the backing and it would not pass. And what I want people to understand is that other than 3 people that sit on that 9-member city council are all minorities. Hispanic and black. So just because our own people, our own race of people who is in a position to be able to make change for us, make a change, don't even give a shit about it. So when I tell people you got to get out there, vote. Everybody's caring about. Everybody cares about who's going to be the president. Yeah, president doesn't affect what happens to your children here in this city. Nope. The city councils, congressmen, stuff like that. People that sit on the board here in Arizona. Those who you need to be concerned about. Not who the governor is. Yeah. You need to be worried about who's your state senator, who's your House of Representative here in the state, because those are going to be the ones that are going to make these changes. And I sat in there and I watched how they do shit at the state senate, and it's sick, man. So people, it's like they run their own rules, man. It's like they run their house. That's what they're doing out there, man. So we gotta give a shout out to our sponsors, man. Take a little quick interview break, get you some water, man. Let's use the restroom up real quick. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we take a little.
live. We are live. We are back once again with Mr. Roland Harris, man. We got him some water up on here to get him a little, thirst. So we're discussing, the crazy laws that Arizona has and the freedom that it gives the police officers to do what they want to do, basically when they want to do it, and that's what we're talking about tonight. And, justice for Jacob, we definitely need that. And not just that, there's more since the death of your son. Also, there's been more that the police have done, right? You're saying the woman from district that's going down to now get a part of a
Hernando
district.
Hernandez, her brother Alex was shot down. He had a mental breakdown, and so the family called the police to come get him help.
So they called to get him some help by
thinking
thinking they would help him.
And instead, the police killed him.
They ended up shooting him.
Yeah, ended up shooting him and killing him. And after that, it motivated Anna to run for to state senate. She actually won. She actually ran on a.
So she's a part of the state senate now.
Yes,
speaking for us. She's one of the ones that actually speak up for us. Yeah.
Right now.
But the bad thing about it is something had to happen for them to open their eyes. And it's kind of shitty, regardless of minority or whatever. But I mean, it seems like if something happens, then that person, does step up. But we all need to speak up as a group of people, because if not, like you said, we're not going to get. It doesn't matter who the president is. Like you said, we need to, get these people that sit on the seats in Congress here, or in the state Senate, to do Arizona shit. They pass laws that, give the freedom for these officers to do whatever they please, basically. I mean, again, I know they're under investigation as we speak, and they've been under investigation, and it's starting to hopefully tighten up for them. Other departments have changed policies and got away, but Phoenix was one of the toughest ones.
It's not changing. Even since the Department of Justice has been out here investigating them, they still have been one of the top police forces and most deadly police forces still.
Nationwide.
Wow. The Department of Justice is still here.
It's under investigation. Yes. Holy
so
shit, man.
They're trying to sell the community on bullshit that they're able to be a self-correcting police force.
Oh, wow.
And so
so they're going to give their own selves justice. They're going to police. They're going to police themselves in house. Yeah, they're going to fix their own problem.
10 years.
We'll fix it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
Well, they've already went through a couple different chiefs. I've seen they've already went through two different chiefs. Right? They had a lady before, a black lady before.
Yeah, she's a piece of trash.
She's still in part of there, or she's out?
She's been. She actually got fired. She actually got told either you step down or you're going to get fired, because she told people that she was not communicating on like a WhatsApp communication, and she
also with the WhatsApps, huh?
It's
so these cops really have they got secret shit that they use,
but it's illegal for them to use it. So
wow.
That's why they got rid of Chief Jerry Williams, and so Solomon's just a
intermediate.
Yeah, he's not the real chief yet, so he can't even implement any changes in policies. So for him to sit here and try to say this.
Don't matter. It don't matter.
And then, so we had to actually fight to get Jacob's property back. I just barely got some of his property back.
His physical property that night.
But here's the kicker. So after Jacob was killed, they charged the children with Jacob's death and one armed robbery.
And
then so when the judge of the criminal case told them, you guys are never going to be able to get that felony murder conviction on these kids. She even sent it back to the grand jury, but the Maricopa County attorney went back off. So what they did was a year later came back and charged those 3 kids.
They filed initial charges again
for 30 armed robberies.
How the hell is that possible?
So then we went. That's why they're doing the post conviction relief.
So they're still going through fighting trial right now.
They're ready to go back in now. And so
again, these kids are locked up. I mean, you got one that's 18, so 2 that are 18. So they're in adult.
No.
They're an adult, right?
So it's almost 5 years ago. So the girl's in Perryville.
So the girl's 19 now.
Yeah,
so she's in
they
Perryville.
charged him as an adult. He was at 4th Avenue Jail for like 4 years.
Oh wow! In the juvenile part, probably.
No, he was actually
adult
solitary confinement. Yeah,
damn, they had him in adult.
Solitary confinement. The 20-year-old, what's fucked up for him is his son drowned He had a
Oh,
baby
wow.
boy that drowned while he was in there. They didn't even,
Let him out for
then
doing that.
they told us we won't let him go to the funeral if he don't want to,
Oh,
and we were
wow.
like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
And
wow.
so,
You still communicate with the parents? You guys
yes,
still?
they're not actually part of the coalition.
Okay.
Uh, Johnny, the 14-year-old, his grandmother passed away, so his aunt is the one that's the was the custodial
She's the
parent of him.
caretaker of him. No.
Yes, so we're trying to get him out right now, and so
And
uh,
he got what, 10,
he got 15 years.
15 years
So he got
for
more
what
time probably
the
than his
charge
life.
was. The charge was initially for the. Did they get him for armed robbery
Armed
or?
robbery, felony, and then they
And
end up
then
making
the death of your son
yeah,
was that manslaughter
they end
or
up reducing it down to manslaughter.
manslaughter
And
was a
then
charge?
yeah, and then in open court, the criminal judge in open court told me that she want to apologize and that she knows Jacob never turned to point anything at the police.
I mean, obviously you can see the video. I mean,
Yeah,
again, go to my Facebook, man. You watch the video on there. It's even on YouTube. I mean, go to that video and there's no just a movement of him. You see him running one straight fucking direction, and then he just drops. So again, there's no an AR-15, man. 11 shots out of an AR-15. Shit. For one, he's a shitty ass shot. The guy that shot because two of them just hit him, and they hit him in the worstest of spots through his lungs, and
lung, liver, and heart.
lung, liver, and heart. Man, that's some. So he was sitting there fucking suffering.
But
That whole time
so
they threw a second flashbang to get the other three out of the
and
vehicle.
then they shot the vehicle up with rubber bullets. So when we got a picture of the vehicle. So the vehicle is peppered. Every window on there is busted out from the rubber bullets. So they shot the truck up too. The girl Soraya said she thought they were shooting up the vehicle to kill
Oh
him.
wow! So she was definitely fear of her
So
life.
not only these kids in prison,
We're scared as shit.
they're
Traumatized.
They're
Yeah.
traumatized by seeing my son die in front of them.
Wow.
I mean,
And getting blamed for it.
and getting blamed for it. They still can't comprehend. To this day, they still can't comprehend and get their
Why?
mind around, like how did I go down for my friend's death? And
Yeah.
then so we had a meeting with the city. And we're asking for Jacob's clothing back, and the attorney for the city said we can't give Jacob's clothing back because as of right now, these kids may go and try to reappeal their case.
Open
But
another
also on top of
investigation.
that is we don't know whose clothes are whose because in these armed robbery videos that we're claiming that these kids did, we can't make out their faces. So if you
Oh
can't make
shit!
out
Then
faces
you
of
don't
these
know
kids,
who is who. How would you
then
initially
how'd you charge them with
say he
30
was
armed
the one
robberies?
robberies?
But see, they didn't.
Well,
They said that to us without even knowing that they said that shit to us.
yeah, just speaking
Like,
openly.
man, this too busy focus on here's why we're not giving your son's clothes instead of hold on, we just gave them grounds to file their post conviction relief.
Wow.
And so that's
And
what it
and
is.
after losing the appeal, can you guys reappeal? Can you guys try to reopen? Is it something you guys you
I'm
as a
not
family want to do that? Is it
no.
again? I know you guys grieve and you guys have to deal with emotional shit like that, and it hurts, man. Again, sorry for the loss, but
I'm not
you
filing
think
those.
you think you wouldn't get no justice if you tried again,
I don't want the money's not justice to us.
or not
Then
even the money or whatever to
but
get
they
those cops to lose their fucking job,
that's what we're
or
on right now.
that's what
That's what
that would be the goal. You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
goal
To
right
get
now.
those to me they're corrupt. They're killers. You
Yeah.
know, they're killers that are out running the streets. Like if again, I know we have army veterans and we have stuff shit like that's a whole nother category. That's a whole different lifestyle that the military has to use. This isn't military. You're using a military weapon to subdue a victim. Again, shoot 11 times, hit him twice with a fucking AR-15. Like, why couldn't they have run after him? Why couldn't they? Again, you watch these cops, the TV shows that are cops, or follow the PD. These guys chase these people down and they tackle them. They wrestle him down, and yes, the guy's got a gun. Oh, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. They subdue him. Now, one of them shoot him because you're recorded live, but you're trying to portray yourself as we do this. Not all do that. Not all put themselves in that line. They just say, fuck it. I'm just going to pull the trigger and deal with that later on. And it seems like that's what happened to Jacob. they did what they did, and they're dealing with it as they're going.
Yeah.
Paid leave. They're at home, not worrying about nothing, And then they got the state to back them up. You got somebody else that lied for other people, and she obviously is no longer a part of the shit. But they cover each other's ass 100%.
100%.
And it's shitty to say that for somebody that we expect to have our we call them 911 is supposed to be something that we call for, our protection. Nowadays, some people don't even do that. Some people take justice into their own hands and they have to deal with it. When, man, back then, the Wild Wild West, justice was handled a different way, and, you had one sheriff and, it was, people, what happened to the old, citizens arrest and shit like that. Nowadays, people try to do something and they're either blamed or they're convicted of something. So cops got the leniency, man. It seems like they got the one up on us regardless of what they do, how bad they do it. And poor Jacob, as a result of that is he's a statistic now. He's one of Phoenix Police Department's, that they can count it as, hey, we got away with that one. We didn't get blamed for that one. We didn't get no punishment or nothing for that one on this guy, which, it's shitty to think like that. And we don't know how those guys think. Again, they're their own entity.
They're nervous. They're still nervous right now. The city just didn't have to pay out any money. But as far as like the officers being nervous about going to jail and shit, they're nervous. They're shook. Yeah. Like right now, my lawyers asked me if I wanted to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the police for that police harassment. I told them no. Yeah. I don't want their money. Yeah. I want their asses.
Right. Yeah, you want their badge. Get them out of doing what they did,
That's what we're trying to do. But I see why they do what they do. I mean, and then what's fucked up is the chief that's in charge of like the internal affairs, a black guy. He's a piece of shit.
Oh, wow.
He sat beside us and he actually defended the police officers' actions instead of.
Well, he's saying they were doing wrong. That's why they did what they did.
Instead of condemning it, he's trying to justify the shit. And it's like, how do you try? Then they try to say, well, we don't know. Well, when the police officers went to your house, they didn't know it was your house.
Oh yeah. Well, how did they go to your house?
You guys don't go to
random people's homes. Yeah.
And then I asked him, I said, so everybody a part of the Violent Crimes Task Force all wears those polo shirts with a big ass embroidery that says Violent Crimes on the shirt? No. I said, so it just happened the same day that he decided to wear that shirt to work was the same day they came to my house.
They came and knocked on your door. Just a coincidence.
It so happened to be the next day after the city of Phoenix had to send that letter out to the Department of Justice.
Wow.
So, they know what it is. We know what it is. And we're not going nowhere. Like you killed the wrong kid that day.
Yeah. And then the other three are sitting behind bars right now.
And we're not going to stop until we get them home.
Man, so what was the heaviest sentence of the three?
30 years.
The initial robber did he get? If they say they didn't see, obviously they had video footage at the place. So, and were they not wearing masks?
They never of the initial robbery at the Whataburger, they know it was on. They followed them in there. The other 30 robberies, they do not have any video proof to put in.
So there's more besides this that they're trying to accuse them of doing? They're trying to say that they did multiple.
Because they knew when they see me come into court, the court was supposed to start. The judge called the county attorney's office and the defense attorneys into a conference. They were there for 45 minutes. And in that conference, one of my attorneys was there. So he went into that conference as well. And in that conference, for 45 minutes, that judge tried to argue with the county attorney to drop the felony murder charge on those
against
the
kids.
Telling them that, hey,
felony
you guys
murder.
Realize that the victim's dad is here to speak for these kids, not for you, but for these kids. Drop it.
They could have took the charge for the robbery, and then they could have held accountable for that.
They wouldn't have locked them up for long enough.
No, so it wouldn't have been enough.
So they chunked up 30 charges against them for 30 more armed robberies.
And was there any proof of that? Did they charge them with that? Did they catch him? They charged him with that?
They charged it with them, and they signed a plea bargain with it, but they had no evidence. Which is why now, ever since that everything keeps coming to light. Like everything that came to light didn't come to light all at the same time. Like first, we sued the got the police report, find out what was going on. Then we got the video. Then during a deposition, we found
Damn,
out
you guys went through
3
some
years,
shit
two
just to
years,
get that.
2 years later, we found out that they were on a WhatsApp communications. Then
So 3 years later, you're barely finding all this
almost
out.
a year ago, we found out about Jennifer DePonzio.
Being all the
Yeah,
accusations, all the
yeah.
wrong she was doing and lying and corrupt
All
she was
that
doing.
corrupt shit she was doing. So we're just barely finding out all this shit.
So
over
you
these
would
last
think by
5
her
years.
being that and lying and doing all that, that would get other people released.
It is.
If she charged other people with her lying and her misconduct, then you would think those other people would get either their charges dropped or, man, there's got to be some repercussions that these officers are dealing with, or they have to. But it doesn't seem like we don't know what's going on.
She's not
Like,
getting any charges, nothing.
wow.
She's not getting reprimanded. Her only reprimanding was they took her license, so she can never be.
So no longer a police officer, which is great.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's about it.
man. So justice for Jacob, man, and these other 3 kids. You guys are working on that to try to get them out.
Yeah, and hopefully
And-
they're
and-
out by the next event that we're doing. We're doing another event on May 10th.
May 10th,
2024.
2024.
2025.
2025. Okay.
Yeah, next year, 3 days before Jacob's birthday, which would have been Jacob's 25th birthday.
Man.
So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do that there.
Jacob was only 19, right?
19.
19 years old when he lost his life.
Yes.
When his life was taken
Murdered.
by the
He was
by the
murdered,
police
tortured
department.
by the
Yeah,
police
his
department.
life, he was murdered.
He was murdered straight up. You got caught what it is, murder.
It's murder. Yeah. And man, the officers again, no repercussions, no nothing. It's like just a slap on the wrist and not even that, and they're out and still on the force. You know, it's like able to do again, and they've done previous before. You know, it's like, man, you ain't been under investigation enough to see that this officer is doing something wrong, or this officer has something mentally wrong, that he's killing people and is able to kill people. You know, it's like that's man, that's some shit, man. You know. So, but once again, man, Lowrider Aftermath, you know, love having you on here, Roland, and talking about your son. Get some justice for Jacob, and we'll have you on here on a follow-up, man, and see what goes on with these kids. See if any justice is for the kids. My link's on there. You can follow him on YouTube, Facebook. You know, check out the site and see that and let us know, man. Go to my Facebook and I'll have pictures on there, the videos on there. So it's just justice for Jacob and the other 3 kids, man. We need to make sure that other kids are aware of things that, the same deal, man. These other kids' parents, you need to talk to the kids, man, and let them know that if you're in the vehicle or you're in the same area with somebody else that's committing something, more likely they're going to try to charge you with it, or they're going to charge you with it. So we just need to let these kids know. And let's see. I would like to know. It's for Jacob. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tony, man. We appreciate it. I know you guys going through some stuff. Everybody going through some stuff with these damn police officers, because, again, they have the right to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And a lot of us are always dealing with their bullshit, and so, again, justice for Jacob, man. And let these kids know, man. Let them know about, the laws, because they do change. And sometimes our kids are not always there to take advice from us. And you just got to let them know and tell them, hey, this happens. And if you don't believe it, show them so that they can be aware of the shit that's going on, man, because our kids are our life and our kids are our everything. So thanks for Lowrider Aftermath. And, again, justice for Jacob. Thank you, Mr. Lewis, man. Phoenix Styles, that's my people, man. So much love to Roland, man. They say much love to you, man. So thank you, Roland, man. Appreciate you coming on here and talking about your son and putting that out there. And we'll follow up, man, so we can know what's going on in the community and all that, man. And people, you'll see him out there. He's got his Lowrider. So appreciate you, man. Thanks to everybody out there. So